Alright, so hello everyone. So in today's video, we are going to learn more about Cambodia's dark past. So today we are at the Tuol Sleng Museum. So in this place, it was meant to be like a public school, but then during the Khmer Rouge Genocide, it was turned into like a prison camp where they torture people and just do a lot of interrogation. A lot of people just suffer over here.
A lot of people leave this place like speechless, so we'll see how it goes for us. And after this, we're gonna go to a place called the Killing Fields. And usually when people get tortured here, they're sent over there to die, I guess. All right, you guys, so they gave us a map of what to do, and we got a headset, and we're gonna follow exactly where the maps kind of shows us. It goes with the audio, right?
Yeah, so I think it goes with the audio. So the audio pretty much like narrates like what really happened over here. So it's pretty much giving you like the whole history about what happened at this place.
Or at that spot.
So this place is called Tuol Sleng Museum. It's also known as S21. It's also like a secret center of like a network of nearly 200 prisons where people were like tortured by the Khmer Rouge.
Oh, look, it says here that there are only 12 confirmed survivors. It's really crazy how within the 4 years of the Khmer Rouge Genocide, 2 million of the population disappeared. Like, I feel like it was practically like overnight, huh?
Yeah.
Because last night when we were doing research about this place, like Vietnam War lasted around 20 years, and that was like a little over 2 million people, but this happened over 4 years. Okay guys, so the history in Cambodia is during the Civil War, which is around the Vietnam War. There was a Civil War, and then the Khmer Rouge won the war, and they were fully in control for 4 years. And during that time, the leader named Pol Pot, he had a vision of wanting Cambodia to be how it used to be. He grew up in the countryside, and when he came to Phnom Penh, he noticed that they were really influenced by the French people. And so he didn't like that, and when he took over, he forced everybody to get out of the city and worked as farmers. And he wanted everybody to be equal. They didn't have any money. They got rid of the money system, and
no private property, no one owns anything, everything goes to everyone like that.
Yeah, and so Phnom Penh actually became a city for it's kind of like a base camp, if you would say, and then they changed this high school that we're at right now into a practically a prison. It's just kind of crazy because me and Pora, our family, originally from Laos, and during the time that this Civil War happened was when the Americans left Laos and Vietnam. And so during that time, our parents were growing up and leaving Laos and becoming refugees in Thailand. And so it's just so crazy how everything kind of connects. Every country has their own story.
I guess it's also crazy that this is one of those genocides that we never really learned in high school. Like, we've talked about the Vietnam War, the Secret War, Civil War and everything, but we never heard about the Khmer Rouge Genocide. And we've also learned about the German, the Nazis concentration camp, but
it's really the big stuff, I guess. But little thing, this is not something little, but it's just, I guess, not in history books for Americans. Which is really sad.
When I first got here in Cambodia, Kelly was talking about, oh yeah, Cambodia would have been the top, Southeast Asia countries that would have been better if it wasn't for the Khmer Rouge. And I was like, wait, what's Khmer Rouge? I don't understand. I never heard about this Khmer Rouge or genocides or whatever until we got here. We started doing research and watching some documentary clips about it, and it's actually quite saddening and frightening.
Yeah, so originally I didn't really want to come to Cambodia because this history is still really recent. It's I think 40 years ago.
Khmer Rouge Genocide and the Secret War and everything, they're all
really recent,
in the same era. So we hope you actually get some info out of this video. As we mentioned before, it's part of Cambodians' like past history, so it's pretty interesting to kind of like learn about what actually happened. Stay tuned, and we'll continue to give out more info when we visit the places and actually gain more information from the audio.
Yeah.
All right, so this is building A. This is where a lot of prisoners were held at, tortured, and killed. And as you can see, there's actually a lot of like barbed windows and covered to make sure that whenever like the prisoners are being tortured, they cannot scream, and the other prisoners will not be able to hear them. It's pretty gruesome. You could still see some like blood stains on the wall, on the ground, and it's pretty crazy. You just can't believe this actually like happened, and we're actually over here like learning about it. So the prisoners that were held over here and being tortured, they weren't documented. So after they got killed, no one knows who it was, and as of now, they still don't know who was actually on that bed that was killed.
Alright, so originally these bars right here behind me, there's 3 right there, 1 right there, were originally used in high school for kids to exercise. During the Khmer Rouge Genocide, they actually used this for torture. After the prisoners lose conscious, then they drown the prisoners in these tubs to make sure they wake up again and do more torturing.
I also found out that prisoners who were like knocked unconscious, like they're about to die, but they didn't die. They're actually kept alive to get tortured even more. Yeah, and like I think one of the main reasons, like the Pol Pot, he was a leader of the Khmer Rouge, like he wants to exterminate those who are like smart and influenced by capitalism.
Yeah, so if you're wearing glasses, or if you like
speak another foreign language,
property, like the way you see things, if it's not like how they want the ideal Cambodia, then you're gone. Yeah, they're gonna kill you like right on the spot. Yeah, so another rule that they cannot do is that they cannot hold any sort of meetings or greetings with friends and family. If they do, then they are killed on the spot, and they cannot show any sort of affection towards others. If they do, the same thing, they'll get tortured and killed. Another info that I just found out is that like most of these people that were tortured, they try to commit suicide. They want to end the pain, but suicide was like nearly impossible for them. Alright everyone, so as mentioned before, these barbed wires are kept here to prevent desperate prisoners from committing suicide. Because you know how they're being tortured so much that they want to just end that pain, they don't want to suffer. They try to commit suicide, but committing suicide was nearly impossible for them because most of the time they are shackled, tied up, and they're just too weak to even move. It's just crazy to see the aftermath of what really happens to your skull when you're being tortured. Like most of the skulls contain bullet holes and cracks in the skull. They're being tortured by hammers or axe and everything because at that time ammo was really pricey. So it's too expensive to be buying ammunition for guns. Yeah. So practically they're getting tortured by axe, hammers, and anything. The Khmer Rouge, they believe that the prisoners here weren't worth a bullet, and so that's why they did other stuff to torture.
Alright, what's up everyone? So we finally made it to the killing fields. I'm just gonna let you guys know that some parts of the killing fields you're gonna see leftover maybe bones or clothing from the genocide that happened over here too. So stick around and we'll give you some more info about what happened. Okay, so from what we've seen and heard so far from the audio is that this place, there used to be like trucks coming here daily with 300 prisoners, and their plan was to try to exterminate all 300 prisoners in one day. But as the number increased, it's harder for them to kill 300 people a day. So that's why they built a detention center to detain all these prisoners and then killing them like the next day or the next available day. Most of the prisoners that were brought here were immediately killed. So standing behind me is a little poster that talks about a chemical storage room. That's where they place like chemical substance such as DDT, I think. And then these chemicals are used to pour over dead bodies or people that are like almost dead to get rid of the stench, so that way it's not so suspicious to workers around the area. And second, it's used to kill off like people who are buried alive. So that's the two main reasons that they have the chemical storage room. So killing off the stench and killing off people who are buried alive. Okay, so what you're seeing right now are the mass graves where people's bodies were piled up after they were tortured and killed at the killing field. Truth be told that when it rains, teeth, bones, and parts of clothes from the mass grave still rises to the surface. Now this one in particular was the parents, children, and babies. The parents were tortured, killed, and tossed into this grave. And as you can see, the tree behind this grave, it's called the baby tree. The children and infants of adult victims were killed by having their heads bashed against the trunks of the trees and then were thrown into the pit alongside with the parents. The reason why was to stop them from growing up and taking revenge for their parents' death in the future. This tree was called the magic tree. Music was played from speakers hanging on the branches to cover the sounds of the victims being beaten to death. That way, no one can hear the sounds and scream from the victims. Alright, so as you can see behind me, those are like the potholes or pits where all these prisoners were killed and buried. And as you walk around, you'll actually find some of the leftover clothing still sticking out from on the ground. I'm not quite sure how many graves or pits there are, but I think there's got to be like over 100 pits. What's up everyone, so we're finally back at our place, and I have to say today was an emotional day, and it was actually pretty interesting going through the actual site where the genocide happened. The whole time you walk through the buildings, you have that sense of like, you know, just like a different feeling, like an eerie feeling, because that place is a place where people actually died, and it just feels kind of weird to walk through there and learn like a little bit of history from it.
It doesn't feel right, huh?
Yeah, but you know, I mean, I guess if you come to Cambodia, you have to go there to kind of know the history from Cambodia. But
it definitely did leave us speechless. Like we kind of have some unanswered questions, like,
yeah,
oh, why did this happen? Why did this happen?
Yeah.
Just a lot of information coming at us at different
yeah,
times.
like everything is just so like out of order. So
yeah,
it's kind of confusing to tell like, the actual history, but. Like I said, like hope you guys find this video helpful or learn something about the Cambodian history. And if you're ever in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, we really recommend you check it out and learn about the dark past. And just a side note, it's gonna be hard for us to make vlogs over here in Cambodia because there's actually a lot of bag and phone snatchers, so you know, we kind of don't want to risk our items being stolen, so it's hard for us to vlog around the city. We apologize ahead of time if we don't upload enough content on time. It's due to that reasons, but we're gonna try our best to still make content and, you know, upload for everyone to watch. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Like, share, and subscribe.